Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Living for Today. I am Mike, your host, and today we are going to talk about a self-righteous Karen getting exactly what she deserves. This started at 9:30 this morning. We went to our local grocery store to pick up some odds and ends, and the parking lot was absolutely full. There were very few parking spots open, and the only ones up front were handicap spots. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am handicapped. I'm blind in my left eye, and I have a detached retina in my right, so I'm slowly losing my vision. But I can still get up, I can still walk, I can still see, well enough. So I don't use that placard unless there are no other available spots, which today there weren't no other available spots. So we pull in, and there's this car sitting in front of the spot about 10 feet, sitting. You could tell they were going to take that spot, but they were about 10 feet back just sitting there. Well, we're sitting directly behind them, and we waited about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, and decided, forget this, cut around them and took the spot. Well, as soon as we did, this woman jumps out of her car screaming, throwing a fit. "That's my spot, get your fat ass out of my spot." And in the process, we were pulling ahead because the spot directly across from it was open. But as soon as this came out of her mouth, of course, my old lady slammed that brake, dropped it in reverse, reversed right back into that spot, and while that was happening, someone comes around and pulls into the spot in front of us. Well, we're kind of laughing and get out of the car, and my girlfriend looks at her and says, "Sorry, my fat ass foot got stuck on the brake," and we go walking into the store. Well, a few minutes later, we see her in the store, and she starts following us around, telling me I'm a piece of shit, that I took her spot, and I'm trash, and I'll always be trash, and that's why I'm trash, because I don't have no respect for other people, blah, blah, blah. This Karen's just going on and on, following us around the store for about 15 minutes. And then she says, "You're lucky I don't call the police on you." So I pretty much just tell her, "You know what? Get away from me." At this point, I was done being nice, and I started getting loud and said, "Get away from me," keeping it PC for the video, but I was not that nice. So she calls the police and attempts to tell them that we were flying through the parking lot. While she was pulling in, we cut around her, nearly hitting her car, and took the spot from her. Well, they asked the manager for tapes, and they see the tape with us watching it with them. And she feels kind of stupid when they see her, clear as day, talking on her phone with us behind her, and then after waiting, we pulled around. So it was pretty much dropped at that point, until they asked her, well, where did she end up parking? And she ended up parking in another handicap spot. So they asked her for her handicap placard number, and she did not have one. So they go out to her car, and nope, no handicap placard in the handicap spot. Now at this point, the cop smells something on the woman and asks her, "Can I search your car?" And of course she says yes, and they find an open container in her car. So not only did she take a handicapped spot without being handicapped, she had an open container and was probably only yammering on and on because she was drunk. Now, they put this woman in cuffs and put her in the back of the car, and they approach me and my girlfriend, and they ask us, "Would you like to press harassment charges?" And we said no. We're not those kind of people. We didn't want this to happen from the get-go, and we didn't want to make it worse for her because the embarrassment was enough. We were surrounded by police officers, tons of people that were coming out of the grocery store, people who were going into the grocery store, and everybody had to stop and see what was happening. So this woman was embarrassed in front of half of our town. I think that was enough to put her in her place. Well, to all you other self-entitled Karens out there in the world, keep doing what you're doing, because I love it. It makes my day that I get to come home and laugh and share this story, and for the next 20 years I'm going to be telling this story. And it's all because you felt like you were entitled to something that wasn't yours. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing today's story, and I hope to see you again next time.